In this video, I'm going to show you the assembly process for this laser cut wreath. This particular sample is made out of two different colors of cardstock, just basic cardstock, and then brown for the stems in there and red for the berries. And of course, you can use any colors or assemble the pieces in any way that you like. The download, you'll see that the files are grouped in 3 layers, layers 1, 2, and 3. And the reason that they're grouped like that is that in each layer, there's a needle. So this is the layer 1 needle and a layer 1 stem, and the stem matches up with the needle. So it's just important when you're cutting and assembling that you match the layer 1 stem with the appropriate needles or the berries. So this here, let's just take a closer look at it. This is the stem, and when you're gluing the stem onto the needles, you do want to make sure that it's lined up. There is a right way and a wrong way for that. Otherwise, the stems won't line up with the needles. And in order to help with that, there is some holes in the stem. And one area has 3 holes, so you can match that 3 holes up with the 3 holes on the other part. It's usually fine just doing it by hand and laying and lining it up, but if you're having trouble with that, you can also use some sort of a platform with pins or needles or nails or something sticking up, and then you can lower the overlying piece over top, and that just makes sure that they are lined up. So each piece that you download has, and cut, has those little holes in it. So looking a little closer at the pieces, this is layer 1, and all of these are formatted so that they will print off in a 15 by 15 or 6-inch squared build area. And just making use of that square area, you'll see that I've used the corners to make some longer needles sticking out. If you don't like that, it gives a little bit of a squared look when you put it on the platform. If you don't like that, just cut a few off and randomize each one as you see fit. So layer 1 has slightly options for slightly longer needles, and then layer 2, they still some longer needles there, but not quite so much. And then all of these ones here are layer 3. So, and this is just one configuration that you do. This one right here is a layer of berries, and then layer 1, 2, and then the top piece, just to get the nice density of branches, is actually composed of 2 different colors of the layer 3 there. So if this is what you're aiming to make, print out the stem and needles in layer 1 and layer 2, and then print out 2 of the stem and needles for layer 3, and then the berry here is essentially like a layer 3. So you'd print out the berry and then print out the layer 3 stem to match with that. Okay, so there's all the pieces. They go together. Let me just put some glue on this and we'll start assembling. So I've gone ahead and I glued on the stems to the berries and the needles. Here's the berries, and then there's a layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3, and I've just alternated the colors between a dark green and a light green. Now for right now, leave one of these layer 3 stems and needle sets unglued, because I've got some special instructions for that. So we're going to start with these 4 glued together. And for this initial sample, when I put the berries at the back, this one right here, I'm going to put the berries more in the middle just to make them a little bit more visible. And when I'm assembling these together, I just use some of these double-sided adhesive foam pieces just to give it a little bit of dimension. If you need it flat, you can just glue it right on there and then ruffle the needles as you see fit. So I'm going to go ahead and connect some of these layers up. So here's a few layers of the wreath. I've assembled the first layer, second layer, and then the berries, and then one of the third layers on top. And so when you're assembling these, of course, make sure that you have the good side up, because sometimes you do get a little bit of burnout on the back side with laser cutting. So all of these are done with the good side up, so that you'll see the needles are oriented in a counterclockwise motion. I said there was something different about this last layer, and that is because we want to assemble it so that the needles are going clockwise, because this layer is actually going to flip over like that, and then these needles are going to bend up to create some density right around in the middle. We can take a look at this one again right here. So I wanted to get some nice needle. This is a way to get some nice needle sort of density and fill in that space there by doing this, folding the needles over. If you don't want that, and you want just a sort of a plain single color ring like that, what you can do when you're laser cutting these is just go in to your slicer and just delete the little paths that create the holes there, and then you'll get a final stem piece that goes on that's just all one color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this backwards, upside down like that, and I'll show you what happens next. Here's that final top layer that I've glued on backwards, and you can tell because the needles are going the opposite direction. There's a few other options for this as well too. You can, if you're digitally inclined, you can flip it over in your before you slice it, or before you cut it. And you know what? If I get around to it, I might actually do it digitally, include that in the download. So you may actually see in there a layer 3 reversed, and that's what that will be. Either way, whatever way you do, if you choose to do this top, the final layer this way, just make sure that it's going the opposite way. The other thing that you'll want to do is when you normally plant these out, some of the needles are connected between the branches here, and that's just to give it a little bit more stability. But for this, because you're bending them over, you'll want to go along and either just rip them and make sure they're separate, or use a knife to do that. So for this last one, you're going to turn it over like this, and then you're going to sequentially fold the needles in like this, so that you can see it hides the ring and gives it a little bit more of a dense look on that final layer. So I'm going to go around and fold all these in, and you can be kind of aggressive and force it, because if it looks messy, well, that's just the way branches are. All the needles have been folded over, and now they're going in the counterclockwise direction, and I've got my little adhesive foam bits on there. Just stick it on there, and there it is. And of course, you can shape the branches a little bit depending on how you want it, and that can be framed or go on whatever back surface you wish. There you go. Have fun with that.